all the way back in 1980, Pete Gerber saw the potential that all synthetic handles could bring to the pocket knife arena and decided to create the now legendary Gerber LST pocket knife. And that was really the forerunner to so many pocket knives. Now, I mean, think of your collection. Probably most of them have some form of synthetic, polymer, G10, glass reinforced nylon, whatever, handle scales. So this was really like a forerunner to that, and it has been one of Gerber's, if not Gerber's, longest running, pocket knives design, and one of the longest running pocket knife designs ever, honestly. And now in 2025, 45 years later, Gerber has updated the series with now the LST Ultra, USA made, the LST, which is confusing because they still have the original LST that they're manufacturing, so that's kind of weird, and a Mini that I do not have, but that we will discuss. And so in today's video, we're going to unpack what these new features are. Do they breathe new life into this legendary design, or is it kind of like a car crash of misaligned features and designs that could have been better executed? We are going to find out all of that today. And yes, we do have our little off-road friend here sporting with us today, the Toyota Land Cruiser FJ60 in forest green with nice pinstriping there. This was the first vehicle that I ever owned. I bought it when I was 17 years old with my own cashola. It was a 1984 manual with the straight six, and love that car. It was the baby blue 1980s color, and I wish I still had it. And I'm sure it's still driving somewhere because those things do not die. But blade lovers the world over, we're not here to talk about Hot Wheels or classic Toyota Land Cruisers. What we are here to talk about are two updates to a classic designed pocket knife, and we're going to have a ton of fun and see how these all stack up too compared to that. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's go ahead and dive on in and have some fun. Now, the first update that is much appreciated are these wire pocket clips. Yes, the original model did not have and does not have pocket clips. So you just got to throw it in your pocket, hope to God it stays there. I think it has a lanyard hole, maybe. These, much more updated, easier to put in a fifth coin if you want to, or just carry generically, and really do function well. One functions much better, but they do function well, and they really flow in line with kind of the concept of these knives in this series of being ultralight and compact. These both come in like 1.3 ounces, I think. Very lightweight, very lightweight. And those pocket clips kind of flow into that, making it perfect for, it's summertime, throwing it in gym shorts. You just want a cutting tool, but you don't want it to sag down your pants. You ultralight hikers, backpackers, you just want a little pocket knife. You ladies who don't want some monster in your pocket, that is the concept and potentially checking those boxes. Now, what we're about to find out here is even though these both have the LST name with the Ultra American made over here in tan and then the overseas just LST in green, these are actually almost completely different knives. Completely different knives, which leaves me scratching my head in many ways because there are attributes that I absolutely love about this model, the LST, and there are attributes that I absolutely love about the LST Ultra, but some attributes that I hate. And I'm like, why don't we just have one good knife here instead of two potentially good pocket knives? It really leaves me scratching my head. And here's the deal. The LST has a good wire pocket clip with Torx screws right there, but it appears to be only one-sided. You can remove it so you can carry it old school, but this is a righty only. There are not cut-ins for those Torx screws on this side, so I do not believe you can ambi. Leave a comment if someone knows, but those are recessed holes. There are no recessed holes over here. So if you're a lefty, I don't think you can carry this pocket clip and pocket knife, but on the LST Ultra, we have a completely different style of wire pocket clip, and it has a Phillips head screwdriver in there. Very nice, I like that. That you can back off and then rotate, and there's a hole, and you can attach it so it's ambi. Why didn't we just pick this model to put on both designs potentially? I don't understand. That's more production cost. Somebody, I hope, has an explanation because I do not understand why. And I would argue this is just a better model because you don't need Torx, you can do flathead, and it's ambi. So there's the first one that leaves me scratching my head. If you're a righty, whoa, this one's fine, but I just don't get it. Okay, second to that, The handles, these synthetic glass reinforced nylon polymer handles, really cool with the machining. You can see all the texture, or like, well, it's actually not texture, but like the concave and the 3D machining and modeling. Really, really cool in the mold there. Just giving it a cool kind of aesthetic, so it's not just like a flat slab, and gives you a little deviations to really give you some good grip. But these handle designs, even though they are both 3 3/4 of an inch long, are actually completely different. These are not identical handles. The cut-ins are slightly different back here on the back ends, and the neck on the Ultra with the thumb slit has a deeper, more pronounced neck and guard to accommodate that slit for potential deployment that we're going to get to and talk about, good and the bad. And then this one, because you're doing a pinch pull and you don't have that, it doesn't need it. So it actually has a fatter and arguably more comfortable, because it's not quite as pinchy. You know, you're not pinching and narrow around the neck, but you have less like confidence potentially in the grip, because this actually kind of locks you in a little bit better. So it's kind of like more ergonomically comfortable, arguably more lock up to kind of feel more confident in the cut. Okay. I don't know if one is better than the other, but why are we doing 2 there? Why don't we just then necessarily just pick this one and then, you know, have 2 different blade shapes potentially, 420HC, 440A. Okay, with totally different grinds, totally different performance, and you're going to be shocked at what I'm about to say here in just a moment on the performance level of these blades. I was blown away. I was not expecting to share with you what I'm about to share with you. But before we do that, I want to invite you to like, subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell icon so you can be notified every week when I put up new videos just like this. And when I head out for a quick jog, a backcountry fishing trip, or backpacking trek where I know the temperatures are going to climb, I've got to trust the gear I'm wearing. And that's where today's sponsor, Huckberry, comes into play. And for the past year, that's meant relying on their exclusive Wellens performance line of apparel. And guys, this stuff's been through it all. From their performance lined swim trunks that dry fast but feel great out of the water as well. In fact, that's what I use a lot when I'm doing like stair climbing in preparation for an upcoming long distance hike, or even on the treadmill as an activewear pair of shorts. But also their Sole performance tees that wick away sweat and also can keep me cool without being clingy or weighting me down. But my favorite piece of gear, it'd have to be the Sole Performance hoodie. It's lightweight, breathable, and perfect for when the sun is beating down and you don't want to fry. It has saved me several times on hiking trips, backpacking, but it also is great for around the fishing hole, and it is able to keep me cool while protecting me from the sun's rays. So if you live for the outdoors like I do, and you need your apparel to keep up with your adventures, I invite you to check out Wellen. So I'm going to have a link popping up here, as well as in the description box below, over to the Huckberry site, along with my exclusive 10% off promo code you can apply towards your very first purchase. So I invite you, go check them out. And now to that wild and unexpected difference in performance on these blades. Now, they both measure in at 2.7 inches overall blade length, but the Ultra USA made version has 2 inches of cutting edge and a larger Casso on a full flat grind. The Chinese made version is going to have 2.3 inches of cutting edge on a hollow grind, 440A steel, and I believe I said 420HC on the original. Now, with a little full flat grind blade with great edge geometry, the geometry is great. It does exactly what you would expect. Perfect for opening packaging, cutting cardboard, some cordage around camp, doing a couple little like carving around, you know, the campsite, you know, just whittling on some wood, that type of stuff. General basic utility. You could maybe slice up some sausage. You're not going to have fun carving up an apple sitting on the back porch. The blade is too small, in my opinion. So on all those fronts, it did exactly what you would expect a 420 full flat grind blade to do. Slice, cut, did the general stuff. So when I pivoted after doing that and started using the 440A version with a hollow grind, I was not really expecting much different, and it was shockingly better. Shockingly better edge geometry and grind geometry because of how high the hollow is, that there's almost no shoulder. I mean, it's like a razor blade, and guys, I was stunned by how much better it carved. It had less energy pushing through cardboard, going through rope, doing all of the things. I have more blade to work with, so it'll cut through things a little quicker. All of the things. I was like, this is like mind-blowingly better. mind-blowingly better. And geometry and grind choice is always the first thing you need to consider before you think about the steel. Steel is important, but that is second. You got the best steel in the world, and if it's a crappy grind that's thick and bad, it's not going to work. Now, it doesn't mean the full flat is bad. It just means this is better. And I was stunned by that. Okay, now, before we talk about the steel, the fit and finish sucks on this Chinese one that I have. Not only does the eye hole have some weird milling issues, I don't know how well you guys are going to pick up on that, but it is not a clean cut in there. Now, it's not sharp, but it doesn't look good. Looks cheap, and like someone was not working very hard to cut out that thing clearly. And then the tip is not properly ground on either side. They're different grinding, rounding off on one, kind of similar on the other. It's a bad grind job. The rest of the blade was fine, but the tip is just a bad grind job. So it just kind of wasn't acceptable to me, to be honest. I was just kind of like, man, that's not awesome to see that. Now, 440A is the worst of the two steels. Neither one of them are mind-blowing, but 420HC will hold its edge a little longer. It's just a better steel. 440A is the same steel family that the original had, a 400 series steel back in the day, but 440A, I wish Gerber would just pivot and not use it anymore. I mean, if they're making Chinese stuff, it needs to be at minimum 8CR 13 MOV with like a good Rockwell, like 56 to 58, or even like 58 to 60, you know, with a good Rockwell, or D2 would be preferred. D2 steel for their budget line of Gerber stuff. This 440A and like 7CR has got to stop. It's got to stop. That's my cry, my plea to Gerber. Upgrade your steels, man. Please. Please, please, please. Okay, so again, you're gonna have to resharpen it all the time. Basically, if you use it a few times, like within 10 minutes, I was noticing like, okay, I'm gonna have to resharpen this. So it will resharpen super fast, but that's just something to note, and same with the 420. Now, this is the other thing, and this is why I'm just like, what is happening? Who is making choices, Gerber? Because I want you to win. I want you to win. Okay, the eye hole on the LST is awesome. Good drop, just drops, bam. It's a one-handed open action. It's fantastic. Okay, this, we got to do pinch pull, right? It'll kind of drop. I kind of got to shake it, and there you go, and it'll do it. Or I can kind of do like a tension pinch and try and get it. How can I do it? There. But you got to do kind of like a double whammy, and it's just not very organic. Here's the deal. These are two knives that should have been one well-executed American-made knife. Keeping it real, keeping it real. That's what should have happened. Between the two, if you were to ask me, the Ultra has the better overall handle ergonomics just because it's a little broader, has the better pocket clip, so keep everything here the same. Take this eye hole for deployment and this grind and blade shape and put it on this blade with 420HC made in America, and we have a winner. Now, because of what we have here, I have two that I'm like, neither one of them I'm super pumped about. I wish this model had 420HC for better edge retention and a little bit better fit and finish that the American production can give. And this model, I wish had like better deployment and a longer blade. And just kind of look, this eye hole version looks a little better with the blade. So I'm like, neither one I'm super pumped about. I had high hopes. I was hoping maybe something would be different, but it's like, why didn't we just make one American-made knife with all of this handle, this freaking blade shape on 420HC, and charge $40 like is what I paid. I paid $40 for the USA-made version, $25 for the Chinese version. That's the going rate. I'll have links popping up, as well as in the description box below to the affiliate networks. When you guys use those links, and when you visit and check out the sponsors, that gives me the ability to purchase blades like this and give you truth darts and keep it real, as I always do in every video like this. So there it is, guys. I want Gerber to win, but it's kind of like a hodgepodge train wreck, car crash of two designs that neither one has attributes that I like of each, and neither one has both attributes. So what about competitive options? Here's some competitive options. American made. Bam! Buck 112. Buck 112, 428C, hollow grind, so it's going to actually be slicier than the full flat. More blade length. We have a lock back. Now, I like the placement of the lock backs better because you can't really kick these down one-handed. It's really tricky. The pocket clip freaking sucks. It's so stupid. These are way better pocket clips. But the handle is larger, deep guard, all the things. Lifetime warranty, just like Gerber. Guess what? $30. $30, $35. $5 to $10 less than this. You tell me. You tell me which one, if you had to choose an American-made, cheap, ultralight pocket knife, which one are you going with? You tell me. What about on the opposite side? Overseas. Boom! The Cold Steel, the verdict. The verdict, right there. I checked. Amazon currently has them $25. I bought like a batch of them over at Midway a little while back for like $16. Triad locking mechanism is bomb-proof, bigger handle, ambidextrous pocket clip. This is 4116 stainless. It's kind of like right around 420. It's closer to 420, like in perform. I'm saying in like edge retention. From my personal experience, your Miles Mayberry, it is better than 440A. It's not much better, but it is better than 440A. So right now, about the same cost, bigger, and is that one better? Oh, you tell me. Still very light, like 2.5 ounces, maybe 3 max. So there you go. There's just 2 options right there off the top of my head that I just threw in that Gerber's competing against, and I wish I was looking forward to potentially like throwing up against here and be like, yeah, Gerber's like banging it, but Gerber, please. I am willing to give my services and just give you some feedback on designs. Hit me up. I want to help the knife industry. So maybe we'll get a 3.0 with this blade shape and eye hole on American-made 420. And if they can charge $40, it'd be a huge winner. As it stands, I would, I don't know. You're not going to see me carrying them very often. Whatever. So there it is, guys. Keeping it real, as always, here on the channel with you at Gideonstactical. I invite you to check out the other video popping up, to subscribe again if you haven't. Leave comments what you think about these 2 models. Like, dislike, if you own one already, how's it performing for you? Always appreciate the feedback. Till next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.